is Friday, the 1st of September 2023. This is GTTV News in English, coming to you from our studios in Westfield, and I am Maud Lamin Job. We begin with the main headlines. The Gambia government awards 19th Gambian small and medium enterprises. Revenue collector for Basse Area Council Lamin Mane accuses finance director of collecting council's funds from him. A former chairmanship aspirant says Gambia's problem is idling at the rendezvous and urge Gambians to kindly desist from such attitude for the development of the country. In the internationals, the junta leaders in Gabon have named General Brice Oligui Nguema as the country's transitional leader. At least 73 people have died in a fire at the city center 5-story building in Johannesburg, South African authorities say. Well, these are the main headlines. Now the news in details after the short break. Welcome back. This is GTTV News in English with me, Maud Lamin Job. The Gambia through the Ministry of Agriculture has on Tuesday, 29 August 2023, awarded 19 small and medium enterprises at the Sadoda Kairaba Conference Center in Bijiro. The project, which has multiple interventions, seeks to boost production and productivity in the agricultural sector by addressing supply side constraints with regards to infrastructure, whilst responding to financial needs, the gaps for operators in the agricultural sector, namely rice, maize, horticultural products, cashew and poultry value chains. Serif Conte tells us more on the report.
The $1 million project is funded by the World Bank under the Gambia Inclusive and Resilient Agricultural Value Chain Development Project GIRAF, a Window 2 Matching Grant Awards. Speaking at the awards ceremony, the Minister of Agriculture Demba Sabali described the event as unprecedented awards ceremony. He said it is a clear demonstration of Gambia government's dedication and commitment to support agriculture at the country's core economic and social development. The Honorable Minister added that the project aligned with Gambia government ambition, which is to increase production and productivity by better incorporating mechanization and in commercialization agenda with a required use of climate change mitigation and adaptation methods. The awardees expressed gratitude through the Minister of Agriculture, His Excellency President Adama Barrow, for providing an enabling and conducive environment for the initiative to be possible. Serif Conte, GTTV News.
Lamin Mane, a revenue collector for the Basse Area Council on Wednesday, 30th August, testified before the Local Government Commission of Inquiry regarding 4 transactions he made with the finance director of the council. Our reporter has more on this report. Revenue collector Mane admitted that he gave the finance director of Basse Area Council on 4 different occasions council's funds amounting to $53,000. Evidence emerging from the Local Government Commission of Inquiry regarding the deals of finance director Lamin Suso uncovers the alleged illicit activity of the finance director. Lamin Suso will also testify before the commission on a later date to answer to these and other allegations. Lamin Mane, a resident of Basse Kabakama and a revenue collector for Basse Area Council, is one of the collectors who made the admission that he made cash payment to Lamin Suso after collecting revenue for council. Mane gave a detailed testimony on his engagements with the council's finance director Lamin Suso. The written witness statement of the witness dated 17 May 2023 admitted into the records of the commissions as an exhibit. Lamin Mane said he began his career as a revenue collector in 2021. That was his first appointment. On how he got his appointment, Mane said he submitted his application at the Basse Area Council and he became successful through an interview by the establishment committee of the council. He said he received a call from the area council confirming his appointment and he received an appointment letter as well. The witness testified that the Local Government Service Commission was not involved in his recruitment and appointment. When asked by lead counsel Yakar Cox whether he received training on the financial and other manuals of the area council, the witness answered that he was only trained on how to use the device the area council uses in their revenue collection. Mane said he was issued a cash book so that when he deposits money in the bank, it will be recorded. He said from Monday to Friday, he used to go for revenue collection for the council and he used to deposit the funds daily into the council's account, either Ajib Bank or Vista Bank. On how they do their work, he explained that the area council registers the business in their data system and issue them with a demand note as to what they should pay for that year. He added that they issued digital receipt for any payment received from the businesses. He informed the commission that the revenue collection machine is a device that has the names of businesses registered. When asked who does the valuation for the business, the witness said he used to do assessment and his superiors are are the ones that do the valuation. Incident 1. The witness explained an incident regarding his engagement with the finance director. At this time, he said he was absent and his assistant was using the device doing the collection. During his absence, Mane said finance director Lamin Suso asked his assistant Suleiman Ba to bring cash collected and paid directly to him. The witness said that was contrary to the memo that was issued that all payments should be made into the bank account. Suleiman Ba called me while I was at home and informed me that the director collected the money from him, the witness said. Upon return, Mane said he insisted that the finance director should refund the money, and eventually the cash was refunded and he went ahead to deposit it in the bank account. The amount involved was $11,500. Incident 2. Another incident the witness explained was the area council was facing troubles from the local bureaus doing money transfers at the market. Lamin Mane said the business persons were not willing to make their payments, adding that the finance director assigned him to go there and do the collection. Mane said after the collection, the finance director requested the cash from him with the claim that the area council was in dire need of money to take care of some of their commitments. I handed the $9,000 that I collected to the finance director, Lamin Mane said. Incident 3. Lamin Mane said the third incident happened on the 19th of June 2021, which was a Saturday. On that day, Mane said it was not a working day for him and he was at home. Reporting for GTTV News, I am Modlamin Joe. Former Brikama Area Council aspirant candidate Amadou Mokhtar Cham has said that one of the country's main problems is continuing idling at the rendezvous, while urging people into such an attitude to get themselves busy into meaningful activities for the country's development. The politician made the comments during an exclusive interview with GTTV at his Sukuta residence. More on this report. Amadou Mokhtar Cham has encouraged Gambians to get themselves relevant issues and avoid engaging into idling at the public rendezvous, adding that this is one of the main problems retarding the development of the country.
I observe in the Gambia, people sit alongside streets and discuss about people. That is too common and rampant in the Gambia here. People sit alongside streets and discuss people. In ghettos. It's
definitely retarding the country.
Yes, it's not. And grand places. How can you see elderly people, matured elderly people, they sit at grand places and discuss people?
Reacting to critics about the small entourage following him during his chairmanship campaign, he said the election should not be a flamboyant adventure, rather a means to eradicate wastefulness of resources.
When it is time for election, those who, hire fleets of transport and collect a lot of people everywhere, all that is cost implication. And some of them are doing it with the notion that when I win, I will be able to tap resources somewhere else, to fit these gaps. Some would go into loans, to hire a lot of transport, go with a lot of people. It is not cost effective. Politics does not need that too much cost. Because if you indulge in that too much cost, your intention is when I win, I will be able to manipulate resources.
He also urged Gambian politicians always think about the hereafter, which he described as mind focusing on the mindset.
I invent a new paradigm shift to development. That was, let the mindset focus on the hereafter.
For GTTV News, I am Modlamin Joe. Here is a press release from the government of the Gambia dated 30th August 2023. It states as follows. Guinea-Bissau national and 7 others under security detention resolved the curb crime. A sting operation was carried out recently by a multi-sectoral security panel resulting in the arrest of one Paulo Jabi, a Bissau Guinean, and 7 other nationals from diverse places across the world. The operation leading to the arrest of these individuals was contingent on the Gambia government's commitment to ensuring topmost national security, safety and well-being of the citizens and residents. As investigations are progressing, additional information cannot be shared for now, lest the government compromises crucial leads being pursued by investigators. We are appealing to the public to avoid speculations and misinformation that could potentially aid lawbreakers, the press concludes. Following Wednesday's military coup in Gabon, where the president Ali Bongo Ondimba was toppled, the army officers named General Brice Oligui Nguema as the country's transitional leader. Although Mr. Bongo earlier on called for help from his supporters, General Nguema was earlier carried exclusion through the streets of the capital Libreville by his troops Serif Conte tells us the rest of the story from BBC Africa Report.
The deposed President Ali Bongo has appeared in a video at his home calling on all his friends all over the world to make noise on his behalf. The former French colony is one of Africa's major oil producers. Mr. Bongo's overthrow ended his family's 55-year hold on power in Central African state. Army officers appeared on TV in the early hours of Wednesday to say that they had taken power. They said they had annulled the results of Saturday's elections in which Mr. Bongo was declared the winner, but which the opposition said was fraudulent. The officers also said they had arrested one of Mr. Bongo's sons for treason. Within hours, General Smith Dodiscos, who would lead the transition and agreed by a unanimous vote to appoint General Nguema, former head of the Presidential Guard. General Nguema told France Le Monde newspaper that Gabonese people had had enough of Ali Bongo's rule and that he should not have run for third term. Everyone talks about this, but no one takes responsibility, he said. So the army decided to turn the page. Crowds in the Libreville and elsewhere celebrated the army's declaration, but the coup was condemned by the UN, the African Union, and France, which had close ties to Bongo's family. The US State Department urged Gabon's military to preserve civilian rule and urged those responsible to release and ensure the safety of members of government. The UK condemned the unconstitutional military takeover of power. There has long been simmering resentment of Bongo family. It ruled Gabon for almost 56 years. And there has been public discontent over broader issues such as cost of living. At first, I was scared, but then I felt joy. A resident of Libreville who requested anonymity told the BBC. I was scared because of the realization that I am living through a coup, but the joy is because we have been waiting for so long for this regime to be overthrown. General Nguema, 48, was absent from the first three statements read out by senior army officers on national television to announce the coup, but he was named transitional leader soon after and was carried through the streets in jubilant scenes. He was aide de camp to the ousted leader's father, Omar Bongo, who ruled for almost 42 years until his death in 2009. A former close colleague told AFP news agency that General Nguema had been extremely close to Mr. Bongo, serving him from 2005 until his death in a Spanish hospital. Under Ali Bongo, he first worked as a military attaché at the Gabon's embassies in Morocco and Senegal, but in 2018, he was made intelligence chief under the elite Republican Guard, Gabon's most powerful army unit, replacing Ali Bongo's half-brother Frederick Bongo, before getting promoted to general. As in previous general elections in Gabon, there were serious concerns about the processes in Saturday's vote. Main opposition candidate Albert Ondo Osa complained that many polling stations had lacked ballot papers bearing his name, while the coalition he represented said the names of those who had withdrawn from the presidential race had still been on the ballot sheet. Both of Mr. Bongo's previous wins were disputed as fraudulent by opponents. This time, controversial changes were made to voting papers just weeks before the election day. In 2018, he suffered a stroke which sidelined him for almost a year and led calls for him to step down. The following year, a failed coup attempt saw mutinying soldiers sent to prison. Serif Conte reporting for GTTV.
A devastating fire outbreak claims the lives of 73 people and injured more than 50 in Johannesburg on Wednesday. However, the authorities say it is not clear what causes this terrible incident. Aisha Tikoli tells us more from the BBC Africa News Report.
Officials say it is unclear what sparked the blaze at the city center 5-story building, which had been abandoned but been occupied by homeless people. The city of Johannesburg confirmed in a news conference that it owned the building, but said Chattels had taken it over. A spokesman for the emergency service, Robert Mulanzi, told the BBC that firefighters had been able to bring out some of the occupants. He said the fire had gutted the building and that the search for other victims was continuing. Disaster management officials are also in the area to help provide relief for surviving residents. Mr. Mulanzi said the scene will be handed over to South African Police Service after emergency services had finished searching for victims. Aisha Tukoli, Gambian Talents TV News.
That brings us to the end of this news bulletin, but before we take a leave, a recap of our main stories. The Gambia government awards 19th Gambian small and medium enterprises. Revenue collector for Basse Area Council Lamin Mane accuses finance director of collecting council's funds from him. A Former chairmanship aspirant says Gambia's problem is idling at the rendezvous and urged Gambians to kindly desist from such attitude for the development of the country. In the internationals, the junta leaders in Gabon have named General Brice Oligui Nguema as the country's transitional leader. At least 73 people have died in a fire at the city center 5-story building in Johannesburg, South African authorities say. Well, that's all we have for you in our tonight's news bulletin. On behalf of the production team, I was your presenter, Modlamin Job. Thank you for your company. Have a blissful weekend ahead. Bye-bye.